So you could have did a podcast with anybody. The LeBron and your podcast, very interesting, very intelligent how you two speak about the game. But why him and why now? I never even knew you guys were friends.
Oh, man, you know what's funny? I explained this. I explained this recently because a lot of people have asked me about this. So LeBron and I met when I was 16 at that Colorado thing,
Right.
and he was 15. I was a year ahead. We're the same age essentially. I'm 6 months older, but he was a year behind me in school. We met at that camp, and obviously he went straight to the pros. I played at Duke, and there was always been like a level of respect. Like we would acknowledge each other at games, maybe make a joke. Later on in our careers, I'd ask him, "Hey, what's the last great bottle of red burgundy you had?" Like that. Like I'd never hung out with the guy prior to us doing the podcast. I think part of it for me was like trying to create something that is different than most podcasts. That was, I think, the biggest thing. And then the fact that it was with him, the fact he's still playing and still has that like fresh perspective on the game right now, which, I'm 3 years out, you're 12 years out.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah. The further you get out, like I watch every night, I study but you do lose a little bit of the perspective of the current game. And as we said, he's one of the all-time greats. So just the mix of all that stuff just felt like a fun thing to do. I appreciate you giving a shout out, man. Thank you.
One thing that you guys really harp on, I know it matters a lot to you, is the concept of basketball IQ. Not everyone has it, is what we are beginning to realize as fans. And so I'm curious, have you ever played with someone or against someone that you didn't realize had a super high basketball IQ and it even shocked you? Whether they became a teammate later or you experienced them on the court and they were seeing things at a level that you didn't expect?
It's a great question. I want to clarify something. I think there's everybody has basketball IQ. I think there's just levels to it, and I think there are certain guys who use that to their advantage to create some level of separation or advantage, and it could be like a little marginal thing, or it could be sheer exploitation. Like I think Jokic, the way he sort of puts the chess pieces in place, I think that's exploitation, right? The guy that immediately pops to mind, just because I didn't know him, and I signed there in 2017. I met Joel 2 weeks before free agency. We were at Steve Nash's soccer charity event in New York. He was still coming back from his knee thing, and I was going to be a free agent in 2 weeks. So I said, Steve, I'll come. I'll put the uniform on, but I'm not running around, and I'm not going to tear my groin two weeks before free agency. So Joel and I ended up being on the same team. We just sat and watched the game and talked the whole time, and hit it off. And then once I started playing with him, I was like, holy, this guy he's smart. He's smart. Even I know it's a point of contention. There are certain times where he certainly baits the fouls and exaggerates. I'm not a fan of that. But the level of intelligence required to be going into your dribble package at the elbow and time when you gather the ball right as the defender puts his hand out and go up and make the shot, like that's basketball intelligence. That's a level of basketball intelligence. That's the guy that pops to mind. You got really quiet over here, man. What's up?
No, I'm just listening to your perspective of the game.
Okay.
I like to hear people that I respect talk.
I appreciate that.
A lot of these people on your side of the fence I don't respect.
We're on the same side of the fence now.
No, we're not. We're not. We work for two different companies, my guy. We work for two different companies, and a lot of people over there, I don't even listen to them, but of course I respect and listen to you.
I was curious, because I love the way that I feel like you helped Joel's game develop so much as a Sixers fan, and the actions that you guys would have off of each other, the three-point shot and then feeding him down low. When you sit next to Shaq right now, how would you even approach that relationship if y'all would have played together in the prime, working together and using your three-point shot and his dominance down low?
Are we playing in sort of the end of
No,
my era, or are we playing
not the old Shaq.
your era?
Both primes.
Medium Shaq, not the old Shaq. Not the Cleveland Shaq. The L.A., Orlando, Miami Shaq.
I would say this. I would say there is a very real possibility, and I lived this like with Blake. I lived it with Dwight. I lived it with Joel as well. It's like if I'm on the court with you, I'm always going to be the guy feeding you in the post. I'm always going to be that next man. So if they double, right, they've either got to make a decision. They got to double off of me from the weak side, or if they double with my guy, I'm the next man. I'm the easiest pass, right? That creates a decision to make. If it happened later in my career, I would have probably grabbed you the first day and been like, hey, here's what I like in terms of like dribble handoffs, screenaways, all that stuff.
You would have did what?
I would have grabbed you.
Grab who?
Grab you.
And you would have told me what you like?
Yeah.
And I would have been like, do me a favor, my guy.
Yeah, and I know what you would have said.
I would have said, just get in the corner, and when I throw it to you, just make it.
Yeah, but this...
You know who tried that? Devin George tried that one year. He's a shooter. I said, how about I don't give a what you like? How about when
Devin George?
Yes.
Like, I know who Devin George is.
I'm like, listen, I know you're a shooter. I know who you are, but we're not doing all that. When you throw it and they bring three guys at and I kick it back out, just hit the shot. That's all.
Devin George shot 34% for his career from three. There's levels to this, Shaq.
Did you just look that up on the phone? No, but I was just trying to make, the correlation of, shooters. I've always loved playing with shooters.
Yeah.
I've always loved playing with shooters. D. Scott, Glenn Rice. My favorite, one of my favorite shooters, he didn't get a lot of playing time, but Mike Penberthy. You remember him, Mike Penberthy? Yeah, so he used to throw it to him, and that would always make it.
To be clear, I said towards the end of my career.
End of your career?
No, I said towards the end of my career, I would have came up to you. Early in my career,
okay,
I would have not said a word to you, and I just would have watched and observed and done whatever you told me.
Okay, cool.
There's a difference.
I apologize.
That was awesome. I looked back, so you both start your career with the Magic. JJ has one career dunk. Shaq, you have one career three. If you guys were able to swap bodies and skill sets for one game, how would you have approached that game? Shaq, you can lead off.
Before the game, I would announce myself as the Black Steph Curry. And I would tell the world, oh, I'm hitting 10 threes tonight. And, of course, all you would be like, oh, no, you won't. And, bro, I wish I was a shooter like you and Steph and those guys. I do. I really do. Like I always wanted to play inside, but now when I see these big guys step out, I get kind of jealous. I'm like, I wish I can do that. If I had your jump shot.
If I had Shaq's body and skill set, oh, man.
You'd be cold.
It doesn't come out often, Adam. Somewhere deep inside my soul is a little bit of anger that just lives there. And I don't really pay attention to it, but it's there. And if I had the opportunity to let that anger out on the court with just punishing people, dunking on people, I try to block every shot. Oh, it'd be so great.
I honestly think it could be like a good form of therapy. If you could play against 12-year-old kids and just pretend you're Shaq and just destroy them for a day.